Hello everybody. If you're getting ready to place your switches with Adorne, you may have noticed that the Adorne faceplates are a little bit wider than the conventional faceplate. So you have a couple of options if your switch happens to be located very close to, let's say, your door jamb or window trim or fireplace trim. If you had that situation where the switch was closer to the door jamb, you could either take your wood chisel, and notch out part of the jamb, or perhaps you're wondering whether you can trim the faceplate. I think a trimmed faceplate looks much better than a trimmed door jamb or trimmed window frame or a notched piece of trim. And I'm going to show you that you can in fact trim these faceplates. And it's rather simple. Step number one, make sure the Legrand logo is oriented properly, and then determine how much of the faceplate you want to trim off. In my case, I've trimmed off a couple of different faceplates, a single gang, a triple gang, and all I've done is simply used a very, very sharp X-Acto knife and made a couple of passes along the plastic. The plastic happens to be two pieces. I found that you can either separate the front from the back half and trim them separately, or you can trim them simultaneously just as one piece. And so I'm going to trim this one as one piece and show you how simple it is. You see my little pencil mark here on the inside? That's approximately the amount of material I want to remove. So that's the amount of shift that this faceplate needs to have. In this case, this faceplate needs to shift to the right about that distance between that pencil mark and the edge of that opening. So that's the amount of material that I'm going to take off of this right edge. Again, the Legrand logo is at the bottom, so I just trim that up with an X-Acto knife. So what I like to do is to simply put my square, and I've already marked off approximately where I want this to be cut. I like to generally score it with the sharpest knife that I have. The other thing I like to do at this stage is to put a piece of masking tape on it, because I may do some scoring without the ruler, and in the event that I get a little crazy with it, keeps me from scratching. I've also trimmed up a faceplate with a coping saw. So that's it. You just make repeated passes on it, and we'll fast forward the video and show you what this eventually looks like. So obviously what's most important to really pay attention to is this top surface, because that's all you see. You can afford to be a little more sloppy on the backside cut, provided that it doesn't extend beyond this edge. You can see here I've got the top. I'll work on this bottom edge, and then I'll either continue with my X-Acto knife or take my small coping saw to it. There you see we have the top piece off. And we have some score lines on where the bottom piece needs to come off. It might even be easier to trim it on this side depending on where your cut is. But that's essentially how you do it. So I'll finish this up, put my file, this edge just to clean it up a little bit, or a piece of sandpaper, and we'll show you what the finished installed part looks like. And one of the other ways to do it is obviously you can use a small coping saw like this. You'll see that this section right here is a little bit thick. So you can see I have this piece almost completely cut off now. I just have this bottom edge to do down here. Again, you can do it with a razor blade, or you could do it with your a Dremel tool if you want to go that way, and you'll get a very satisfactory result. Well, there you have it. Obviously, this applies only to the plastic Adorne faceplates, not the glass ones. So if this helped you any, or you thought it was entertaining, just give me a thumbs up. Thanks.